Hi, my name is James Mangold, director of the Wolverine, and I'll be answering questions on the next episode of Expert Showcase Special Edition. The only reason I'm sketching out a story, which I am, for the next Wolverine movie would be because I intend to make it. I don't like to write, so that when I do, it better be because I'll have the fun of shooting it. Well, the second part is easy to answer. I'd go very far. But I can say this much, which is that the intention is to do something you haven't seen and to keep trying to reinvent where you're going and what the story's about, and also trying to not make a superhero like every other one, to try and make it, to use the fact that Logan's got such a rich character and such a rich world of characters around him, to build something really new and exciting. Well, it all depends. It all depends on that. Even depends on the movie that I'm not even making, that you'll be seeing, in theaters next year. The reality is that when our movie ends, he's got his bone claws. But where the story takes place and what I'm making next, one can only guess. I love all my children. I don't have a superior. I couldn't tell you. I'm probably too close to it. I'd rather know what you think is superior. The reality is that I get lost making. It's like, is this batch of cookies better than this batch of cookies? I don't know. The reality is that when you're covered in paint and making, you have your instincts and only your instincts. What I do know is that for hardcore Wolverine fans, Marvel fans, X-Men fans, I think there's a lot of stuff in the extended version that's gonna bring you real enjoyment. I think that, and real fascination and extra detail and extra backstory on the characters. I think that for people who don't want the extra 15, 20 minutes in a movie, that they want to get it over with, then the theatrical version is much more your cup of tea. Well, definitely when we were shooting in Japan, we were in midsummer, and honestly, some of those fight sequences and the running through Tokyo was shot in weather that I could only describe as like at least 110 degrees in physical temperature Fahrenheit, plus out of this world humidity. I mean, I think someone was telling me that the virtual temperature was like 130 degrees or something while we're shooting. So it was hard. I'm not good in the heat. I like the cold, but that was hard. Also, shooting in Japan is tricky. Most Japanese movies are shot on stage or in the country, but they don't normally shut down their streets for action pictures, so we had a real adventure of it. And in part, some of the stuff when Logan and Mariko are running through the streets of Tokyo, we shot guerrilla style. It was like I'd gone back to my independent roots, and we literally, I had Hugh and Tao Okamoto in a van with me and my DP, and we just would pick a street corner filled with real people and run out and shoot them running for their lives through these crowds. Partly because it was just impossible to kind of clear streets, so we just decided to do it guerrilla style. I would be comfortable representing that I think the studio realized that the dumping of extra mutants into the original Wolverine was a mistake. And so it's not like more is always more. I don't think I was under that pressure, and I certainly was never tempted. I thought the whole point would be to be making a film about Logan, not about a team. I mean, the key difference to me is that when you're making a movie about a team, Justice League, X-Men, Fantastic Four, it's very hard to have a protagonist because essentially you're sharing time. Every member of the team needs to have a story arc, a beginning, middle, and end to that arc. There's only 120 minutes in the film. So every time you add another person having more of an arc, you're reducing the amount of time that your character, whose name is in the title, is gonna have. And so for me, the focus was making sure that this was a story about Wolverine. I tend to stop around 7, but I cheat, meaning that I roll the camera and then I talk to the actors while it's rolling and tell them to start again or stop or go at it again. It was something a long time ago that Bob De Niro showed me, how every time you say cut, there's a kind of reality of what happens on a movie set, which is that you say cut, and then everyone starts measuring and relighting and tweaking, and makeup people fly in and start dusting and the hair people come in and the mood goes away. Whatever the vibe was in the scene evaporates. And sometimes it's really useful to never cut, you know, and even for younger filmmakers, I'd suggest it's like, if your actors are in the groove, it's like, just have them go back to one and keep doing it. Don't stop. It's like it's just the difference between, you know, a basketball game and a football game. Sometimes stopping and getting in a huddle changes everything and you suddenly lose your mojo. You lose whatever that strange feather you were chasing. Sometimes I'll do one take, but it'll actually have 4 performances of the scene inside it.